and we want to become the hero of our own story, so we can look at those past regrets and learn from them and see what we're doing.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Tiff and Tony Show. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode with Tiff and Tony. Tony, how are you doing today?
I am well. I am here. I'm tired, not been sleeping so well. I don't know why. Just part of life. And you?
Similar. Yeah. So we're both a little tired this morning though.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Again,
Yes.
It's part of life, and it's just something that we got to deal with, and
Yes, we do.
Work. And so we're just going to jump right to today's topic, which is regret. I know Tony wanted to talk about this from a book that he has. We're going to show it. You got to meet the author. Yes. The Power of Regret. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the book? Have you started reading it, and how did you meet the author?
I was actually at a book launch. He was talking about the book and the power of regret. Daniel Pink is a writer of several books, and they're good books. I've taken a lot of content from his books to teach kids in the PureGame program about what we do. Because this is just my opinion, right? That we send kids to school and they learn a lot about, maths and geography and science and English, all great stuff. Need a good basic stuff, but they don't necessarily teach some of the really important life lessons. And so that's why the self-help industry is now like $1 billion industry or whatever it is. It's ridiculous. So that's what we do at PureGame, right? We're hopefully teaching kids some of the life lessons that aren't being taught at home or at school. So the Power of Regret is one of them. This book is a really good book, and it talks about this idea of looking back at our life and seeing regret as a tool from which we can grow. Regret's a powerful feeling. It's a powerful emotion, and it can bring us down, and we do everything we can to avoid it. There are the regrets of things we didn't do and the regrets of things we did do, and the things we did, you don't always know you're going to regret them down the line. Don't always know that You'll look back and go, oh, I wish I didn't do that. And so sometimes you do things, and later on in life you go, oh, I really wish I didn't do that. And it's the same with the things that you didn't do. You don't always go into it with this idea that I'm not going to do that because I know I'm going to regret it later on. You don't do something just because of in the moment. And the issue with regret is not that we feel it afterwards, right? So it's the feeling of regret that we try and avoid and get rid of. Right. And that's what we've got to stop. We want to stop getting rid of that feeling of regret, because it's the feeling of regret that actually can teach us something about moving forward in life. There's the stories of the things that you didn't do, and it's typically you didn't reach out to a friend because you had a little bit of an argument. And so you don't reach out to them. And then something happens to that person that stops you from ever reaching out to them again. And you hold on to that regret so tightly that it just ruminates in your mind. And that sitting with it, constantly going, visiting that regret, and constantly beating yourself up about that regret is the negative issue of regret. But that's where we nearly always go. We're constantly beating ourselves up about what we did or didn't do. But what if we looked at the regret from a third person almost, right? And separated from the regret and that distance, right? And then look back at it and go, what can I learn from that moment in time? The regret is there, and the feeling, it's almost like a lighthouse, right? That we've talked about lighthouses before. It's almost that signal that says, don't go there because you'll regret it or you'll do something wrong. And so when you feel the emotion, you look at it and you go, what can I learn? And then make sure that you reach out to that friend that when it comes up again.
What is our challenge in this? Is just like looking back at things that we already know that we regret, or is there a way that we can kind of take this with us as we move forward? What does that look like?
Yeah, I think both. I think it's good to look back at some of those situations we've regretted in our past and formulate them in our mind, that we look at it and go, okay, what can I use that for moving forward? How can I use that as a lesson to make me stronger in the future? We have a tendency to think that the past has happened to us, but most of the time the past has happened for us. Right, and when we change it from to us to for us, we've become less of a victim and more of the hero of our own story, right? And we want to become the hero of our own story, so we can look at those past regrets and learn from them and see what we're doing. And then I think that as we step into our future, there are things that I know I'm going to do in my future that I will probably regret, right? Mistakes happen, and we do these things. We're human and we're flawed. And so I would say that just not holding on to them is the biggest thing. It's that acceptance that we look at it and go, okay, that happened. Can I learn from it? Use it as a signal, as a lighthouse, so that we can then move forward into the future.
Right, because that's what I was going to bring up, is what do we do with those feelings of regret? We can use this tool to help us move forward in different ways in the future, but we're still stuck with that feeling of regret from things that have already occurred. And so it's not always that easy for us to accept it and move forward. And it's a complex human process. And so that would just be our encouragement to you, is find the tools and resources you need, audience, to work through those feelings of regret, because as Tony mentioned, they can be so powerful. And I know that in times where I've really regretted something that's been kind of a big thing in my life, those feelings are really hard to just get over. And we're not saying to just get over it, but that's, kind of what I sometimes tell myself, like, oh, just get over it. That was 5 years ago, or whatever the thing is. And it can sometimes eat you up inside, And so it's finding the resources in your life to be able to work through those feelings in a healthy way, because what happened, and oftentimes there's not much we can do to go back and change something that already happened. So reach out to your support system, journal, do what you can to work through those feelings to get to that place of acceptance. We've talked about acceptance recently on the Tiff and Tony show. So if you want to go back and watch some of those episodes, that would be great. And we encourage you to do that. Tony, anything else you want to recommend or say about this book? Or regret in general?
I regret buying it. No, I think it's a great book, and it's a great resource for us to move through some of these things. Some of the tools that he has in there are really cool tools. And I would say that next week, so let's talk about the negative chatter that we have all around kind of regret and what we do, because the negative chatter also has something about the regrets that we do. So we'll look at negative chatter next week and figure out how we can use negative chatter to actually benefit us.
Okay, I'm intrigued. I hope all of you are too. Tony, thank you again for another book recommendation. I hadn't heard of that book before, so I can add that to my growing book list. And we hope everyone has a really great day, rest of your week, and we'll see you back here next week.
Thank you very much. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining Tony and me in this week's episode of the Tiff and Tony Show. We hope you feel encouraged and motivated to keep growing with us. If you like what we do here at PureGame, one of the best ways you can support us is by liking and sharing this video with your friends on social media. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel using the button directly below this video on YouTube. And you can donate at our website, www.thepuregame.org. And with that, we'll see you right back here next week.